You ever put your whole soul into a place? I don't mean a house. I mean a workshop. A proper one. With years of tools lining the walls like trusted friends, with oil stains that tell stories, a wood stove crackling in the corner, and the smell of steel and sawdust that hits you the moment you walk in. Yeah, that kind of place. That was mine. My name's Colby Hatch. Welder. Fabricator. Former oilfield mechanic. Semi-retired now, living the good life out in the Texas Hill Country on my own 5 acres. Bought the land with cash after my 3rd contract out in the Bakken. Built my cabin myself. Framed every wall, ran every pipe, poured the slab for my shop with my own 2 hands. That shop was everything to me. And I made it damn clear, no one parks in my workshop. See, I built it a little ways down from the cabin. Big steel frame structure, roll-up bay doors, commercial compressor, enough welding gear to outfit a shipyard. I'd let neighbors borrow tools, bring their broken lawnmowers over, hell, I even taught a few kids how to MIG weld in there. But it was sacred ground. And if there was one person who had no business stepping foot on it, it was Pamela Cartwright, president of the Whispering Pines HOA. Now let me be real with you, I am not in the HOA. When I bought my land, it was zoned agricultural. The HOA didn't exist yet. But after a bunch of out-of-towners built those look-alike homes with fake rock veneers and concrete fountains, the HOA formed across the ridge and started calling themselves the voice of the community. And Pamela? She was the megaphone. Her first visit was within 2 weeks of me moving in. This structure, she said, standing in front of my workshop with an iPad and an attitude, may violate community visual standards. I blinked. Ma'am, this ain't your community. She gave me a smile like I was slow. Sir, the Whispering Pines HOA oversees visual compliance within all adjoining sightlines. That means if we can see it from the ridge, we have input. I gestured toward the hills. You want to pay my taxes and mortgage too? That was the start of it. Every few weeks she came by. Taking pictures. Leaving notices. Once, she even slipped a printed violation letter under my windshield while I was welding a trailer tongue inside the shop. I told her she had 5 seconds to remove herself before she became part of the scrap pile. But the final straw, the day everything changed, started like any other lazy Thursday. I'd planned a long weekend in Big Bend. Packed up the truck, filled the cooler, gave the dog to my sister. The workshop was clean, the gates locked, the alarm armed. But just before leaving, I made one last trip down to grab my travel toolbox, and that's when I saw it. A white Mercedes SUV. Parked inside my workshop. Inside. Right in the center of my epoxy-sealed floor, 2 feet from my welding table, perfectly aligned between my rolling cabinets like it was her personal garage. I stood there for a good 10 seconds just processing. Then I saw the note. On my welding bench. Written in elegant cursive on HOA letterhead. Colby, the contractor working on my house needed parking for heavy materials and can't make it up my driveway. I've granted him access to your shop for the next 2 days. Please keep the doors unlocked and clear. Thanks for being a team player. Pamela. I didn't see red. I saw white hot. The kind of anger that only welders understand, the kind that rises up when someone messes with your tools, your time, your sanctuary. I stood there in total silence, then calmly walked to my metal cabinet, pulled out my helmet, gloves, and fresh 7018 rods. Fired up the generator-powered welder. And then? I welded the bay doors shut. Not a spot weld. Not a couple tacks. I laid full, continuous beads on both sides of the steel doors, top, bottom, and sides. Welded the center seam. Welded the exterior padlock hasp shut. And for good measure? Welded a piece of angle iron across the outside like a medieval barricade. When I was done, sweat dripping down my face, I wrote a note of my own. Pamela, your contractor, will be just fine inside. I'll unlock my shop when I get back from vacation. In 4 days. Maybe 5 if I take the scenic route. Next time you break into my property, bring a crowbar. Sincerely, the owner. I taped it to her windshield and drove off. No phone calls. No texts. No mercy. 2 hours later, somewhere just past Junction, my phone lit up like a Christmas tree. 12 missed calls. Voicemails. HOA board numbers I didn't recognize. I ignored every one. Day 2 of my trip, I got a call from the sheriff's office. Mr. Hatch, we got a lady saying her car's been locked inside your shop. I told him the whole story. He paused and said, "You have a security system?" "Yep. Got the footage. Want it?" He sighed. "No need. Sounds like trespassing. Want to press charges?" "Not yet," I said. "Let her stew." When I got home 5 days later, the car was still there. Dusty. Sad. A folded blanket in the back window for shade. Pamela was there too. Waiting. You vandalized my vehicle, she shrieked as I pulled up. I unlocked the pedestrian side door, walked in, hit the grinder, and cut my welds with slow, deliberate sparks. After 20 minutes, the door groaned open like a bank vault. I gestured. There you go. She climbed in, started it, and reversed with a screech so loud it probably offended the deer 2 counties over. She didn't say a word. But it didn't end there. Turns out, she'd lied to her HOA board, told them I was a community resource, and had agreed to provide emergency workshop storage for certain projects. When the board found out she'd forged that permission and used my land without consent, they forced her to resign. Oh, and that contractor? He called me the next week, apologizing profusely. Said she told him it was her cousin's garage. So I welded a sign to the outside of the shop. Private property, if you're not my cousin or my dog, get off this land. Haven't had a problem since. My shop's still my temple. My tools are safe. And the only person parking in there now is me, and maybe my old dog Rufus when he sneaks in to nap on cold days. Pamela? I hear she moved to a condo in Austin. Bet she misses the workshop.